Welcome back to the Everyday Faith Podcast from Eastside with today's faith-rooted principle.
Hey, good morning. Today is May 29th, and today's rooted principle: never forget that just as you needed God's grace for your salvation, you need His grace for each day of your life. I'll be reading directly from Dr. Chappell's Rooted in Christ devotional book today. Romans chapter 5, verse 15 and 16 says this, "But not as the offense, so also is the free gift. For if through the offense of one many be dead, much more the grace of God and the gift by grace, which is by one man, Jesus Christ, hath abounded unto many. And not as it was by one that sinned, so is the gift. For the judgment was by one to condemnation, but the free gift is of many offenses unto justification." John Newton wrote what is probably the most famous hymn in the world, Amazing Grace. Before his conversion, he was a wicked man, making his living as a slave trader, taking people from Africa and selling them into a lifetime of bondage. When Newton was saved, he was completely transformed by God's grace. But through his latter years of serving God as a changed man, he never forgot the kind of man he once had been. Newton wrote, "By nature I was too blind to know Him, too proud to trust Him, too obstinate to serve Him, too base-minded to love Him." There is a danger that faces those who have been saved for a number of years. Sometimes we forget how desperately we need God's grace. Even those of us who grew up in a Christian home and were saved early in life still had no hope of salvation apart from God's grace. We should never forget the incredible debt that was paid for our salvation and the free gift that was offered us through no merit or work of our own. But we also need God's grace for our daily lives as believers. Just as we could not save ourselves, we cannot live a consecrated Christian life in our own power. The world, the flesh, and the devil work against us constantly. Only the grace of God gives us the strength to be overcomers. The power of grace is something we must never forget. Remember, never forget that just as you needed God's grace for your salvation, you need His grace for every day of your life.
Thanks for joining us for today's Rooted Principle right here on the Everyday Faith Podcast. If today's conversation has encouraged you, be sure to share it with someone who might need it, and don't forget to follow and subscribe so you never miss an episode. We'll see you next time right here on the Everyday Faith Podcast.